Okay, back in the shed again on an extremely muggy, hot summer's day. Currently 29 with 85% humidity. So yeah, it ain't pleasant, but I'm going to talk about packing the bike for camping and what I take and why really, and how I sort of pack it. So that is the plan, and this is probably a bit better than being out in that hot sun at the moment. Yeah, we'll go for a bit of a run through the bike and what's on it and why I pretty well pack what I pack. And I guess to a degree how I pack it. All right, let's check her out. So it's effectively packed to go away, and I'm actually going away this weekend, so this is pretty well everything I'll take. So we'll probably just go through each pannier. Start off with that one. Yeah, so this first thing you'll probably notice, this little bag here, it's just got my cooking, sort of wood collecting, fire starting equipment in it. And it's held on with a gotcha strap, which are pretty bloody impressive. So that's that one. I'll just put it on the table. Everything I take out, just put it on the table, and we'll go from first thing. Next thing. So these are 15 litre bags. Probably a little bit too small for my liking. So this one basically holds my camping gear. So first things first is a tent, which I'll put some footage up on what it is, a little kakadoo. So tent, more gotcha straps, holding the tent pegs to the bag. And yeah, 10 pegs, 10 poles. Then we've got a little air pillow and seat. Just a BCF seat, pretty light. So that's pretty well that one. She's empty. She is done. So number one, pretty well holds camping, cooking side of the world. Probably the best way to show you is number two is this. So number two is food, and pretty well the bottom half is tools, tubes, everything I need, pretty well just for flat tyres. So, always seem to take chips. One thing I do with the chips is I'll put a little hole in the bags, because they're 60% air. Put a little hole in the bag, squeeze the air out of them, and then just put a bit of tape over the hole up the top so that they're flatter. As the beginning of food, I often take biscuits, have tuna or salmon on the biscuits, a few tins of salmon this time. So as the beginning of these are pretty well just snacks, more snacks. Like a box of muesli bars, like the chewy ones, and effectively dinners I will put in this, which is a soft bag, a refrigerated type bag. Bit of a challenge one end. Freeze up 500ml bottle of water, put that in there, and then just put some meat in there, and freeze the meat as well. Haven't got any at the moment because I'll get it tomorrow, but yeah, you can imagine a bit of steak or whatever you want frozen in there, or chopped up onions, although they tend to smell the bags out. But yeah, basically anything you want cold. You've got a mini fridge, it'll last you at least the first day to the night. So that's pretty well the food thing, sort of just that little area there. That'd be a day's worth of food. Probably add some bread rolls, 2 or 3 bread rolls, and yeah, you can have chip sandwiches, obviously steak sandwich, or you can toast the bread rolls. These are sort of like snacks, and just healthy-ish sort of snacks. And then yeah, central thing. I'll take some water. Here's a 1.25 bottle of Pepsi. I'll just fill up with water. If you finish with it and you don't need it, just burn it or whatever, or bring it home. So yeah, so water. And below that is tools. Won't get too deep into there, but below is basically tubes, tyre levers, all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty well full to there with tools. So both pannier bags are empty. And we're down to sleeping. Well, just a sleeping bag. So I put the sleeping bag in a dry bag. There's nothing worse, you would imagine, than having a soggy sleeping bag. So I put a sleeping bag in there, and this is a down bag, bit hot for summer, but I just tend to lay on it. So sleeping bag. And pretty well in this top bag, which I think is about 30 litres. Again, a little bit too small for me. But inside this top bag is my clothing. Essential, favourite camo jumper, polar fleece, warm, tracksuit pants, throwing stuff away here, yeah, so camo jumper, tracksuit pants. I'll often take a balaclava or a beanie. In summer you don't need these things, but this is just pretty well I'll take most of the time. Pair of board shorts, so when I get out of my bike gear, throw my socks away. Boardies, and another pair of socks, 2 pairs of socks. And the last thing in here, and it's to do with camping, is I'll take a ground sheet. So this ground sheet's actually a survival blanket, pretty tough one. And it's the insulation value from that's amazing. And it fits under my tent perfectly. So I'll put this under the tent, don't get holes in the tent, insulates the cold from coming up, so don't lose body heat, and lays flat so I can stick it in the bottom of the bag. So it's an awesome thing. About $30 I think I paid for this thing. It's yeah, good little investment. So another pretty essential thing for me, probably most of you guys, but particularly for what I'm doing with cameras and filming, is I'll take little power bricks. This is the one there, and I've also got, probably see the one in there, it's a solar powered one. Well, it's charged by solar. I'll get him out. This one here can be charged by the sun. Obviously I'd pre-charge it before I left, and being on top of the bike in that little case there, it slowly recharges. Don't think you're going to charge it fully sitting in the sun on your bike, because they take about 50 hours to charge. Also it's got a little torch in it, it comes in handy. But I've got little tiny camp lamps and I take and other things. So basically what you're looking at on this table is everything I'll take. Probably bar a head torch, and that just fits in that little bum bag. So clothing, tarp front of the tent, power bricks, so I can charge GoPros and things like that, or cameras. Sleeping bag in a dry bag so it doesn't get wet because it's outside the bike. This is pretty well just a food collection. Add bread rolls, obviously add steak or sausages, whatever you're into. And there's another 600 ml of drink, so you got that. So you pretty well got 2 litres of fluid. Then we got chair, bed, pillow, camp cooking stuff, and tent poles. Might go through this one because this one's pretty critical and essential. Okay, the little fire cooking camping bag, I guess you call it. So in this one, I'll just sort of describe it as it comes out. First thing's a little bush saw. And got this couple of trips back, and bloody good thing. Awesome, very handy. All those sort of 3-4 inch logs you can't quite break, just cut them with that and then just stand on them and break them or whatever. But very handy, very sharp, very light. I guess back to the cooking stuff. Another thing I've actually recently bought is just a little spade. So the plan with this little fella is just to move hot coals around. If you're digging a hole, if you've got to get a toilet, look, you could chop stuff with it. It's literally like some survival chopping thing, but yeah, there's better things to chop with. But yeah, pretty handy, especially if you want to adjust a fire and get some hot coals under the next thing I'll bring out. Pretty well while I got that. I think it's 160 grams too. So yeah, nice light thing as well. And the hot coal thing comes in handy for this. Little titanium grill. Awesome thing. I'll put up some footage of cooking steaks and stuff with it, but the first time I'd sort of owned one of these things. This thing would weigh 20 grams, 30 grams. Excellent. Perfect little thing to take. So that's pretty well empty. So pretty well just all the cooking stuff here. Let's say you're not having steak or sausages or whatever with that. And you've got soup. Little titanium bowl. Or a pan, or whatever you want to call it. Wouldn't call it a frying pan, maybe it is, but it's just perfect for soup. Probably alright for sausages, but yeah, that comes in for that. But just, yeah, mainly for sort of liquidy type things. Ah, eggs, there you go. Although taking eggs camping is a bit of a challenge. Keeping them in one piece, but yeah, things like that. Take a little bit of oil too, maybe a little plastic bottle of oil, which I will take this trip. That'll be part of my food collection. So pan, and this sort of fella is everything else associated with getting fires going and eating. So again, titanium pan, titanium cutlery, just a little pocket knife, just a handy thing to have, stabbing sausages or whatever. And it is a little fella, stainless steel. Just put him on there, so I've got pretty well all my cutlery in one hit. This thing, we'll give it a bit more of a shot. Just the flint and steel, or whatever you want to call them. Definitely send out some sparks. Pain in the butt to get a fire going with, unless you've got some sort of, you know, you could use a bit of petrol from your tank, or even fly spray or bug spray, I should say. Like, yeah, if you've got some Aerogard or Bushman's, spray it on the leaves or whatever you're trying to get going, and bang, it'll get going then. Is that cheating? Doesn't matter, as long as you get a fire. So that little thing is a backup. That is not the main plan. Main plan is these things. They're effectively my fire lighters. These are bits of old motorbike tube. Get a flat tube, you throw it away otherwise, so I just cut them up in little pieces. And then, yeah, got a handful of these, a couple of lighters. I normally take 2 or 3 lighters. One day one won't work, so if 3 don't work, you've got that. And if all that doesn't work, you're in trouble. You're going to be hungry or eating raw meat, I don't know. But yeah, so that's pretty well it. All that in that one little bag. So you can probably tell by how full my pannier bags were. They're effectively too small. They're 15 litres, and I think 20 litres is a better deal. You know, a bigger bag, you don't have to fill it, but it's having the ability to carry more stuff and not be all just crammed in like I've got mine. So these are the current pannier bags, which, as I touched on, they're 15 litres. These are the Wolfman ones. Obviously a good quality bag, rubberised sort of a canvas, I guess. But they're a little bit small, so I'm going to be trying out and testing the new Moto Nomad Strzelecki pannier bags. They're pretty well similar design. I'll put some images up on the screen. 20 litre side bag, and the top bag will be 40. So my top bag's about 30s. So they'll have noticeably more room than these fellas. I'm looking forward to them coming out. I'm looking forward to giving them a run. Looking forward to not cramming so much gear into these smaller bags. Alright guys, I'm going to repack this bike, get it ready for the weekend. Going to do a run around the Barringtons, I think. Probably the 20 river crossings, and yeah, got lots of spots actually. 2 nights, 3 days, so I'm going to cover some country. When these new bags come out, I'll do one of my shed rambling videos and just give it probably a first impressions of them. First look, quality build and that sort of stuff, how they fit. And then we'll get out and do some camping with them and take them in a real world. Alright guys, that's pretty well it. I will catch you on the next one. Cheers for watching.